Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So as a tradition in this channel, after I made it to Guardians, I'll make a video on how I get there, what I've learned and what I've enjoyed in this season, what I've not enjoyed in this season. And so this video is all about just like a video blog on the journey so far. So now Guardian is basically the very last stage of the season journey. So after you've done chapter 1 to 4, you got your reward, and then after that you start to get other rewards as you proceed. Then you become Guardian, and that's the end of the season journey. But it doesn't stop you from continue playing, because that is where the end game really shine, and you could start to experiment other builds, other options, and you can just push as far as you can. Then after that, you may take a break. Then the season will end, and soon the season begin again. So I kind of like this kind of rhythm because it doesn't demand me to continue to play throughout the year. I'll play pretty hard during the start of the season. Then I'll probably slow down a little bit. Then I'll play a little bit of the end game, trying to see how far I can go. But then usually I'll just stop for a month or two in the last part of the season, waiting for the next season to come. Sometimes it comes with not much update, which is mostly the case because this game is already in maintenance mode. But sometimes it does come with a huge update that make it rather fun as well, because like the last patch, a lot of set items are being recalibrated. A lot of builds become more viable, so it's kind of interesting, and also coupled with the fact that there's a season theme this time around. So I think initially when it started, it wasn't that, it was just like a gimmick kind of thing. You can have double goblin, you can have double bounty, kind of like chest. But now this season, it is the season of grandeur, so without the need to equip or keep the royal ring of the royal grandeur, you have that effect. So initially I don't really use that effect that much, because I felt a little bit like cheating in a way. I know I shouldn't think that way, but I wanted to see how far I can go to equip my character, because I still want this character to go into the normal mode after the season end and still be playable, because without the season of grandeur, then whatever I'm building now become not that playable in the normal. So I try to work towards getting a nice decent set of like item for my character, and then now I'm starting to play around with the season of grandeur. The fact that I can do another kind of like build variation just for this season is kind of fun as well. So now I just want to recap a little bit of what I have been doing. What I've done so far in the journey is that when I first started the season journey, that was when the Necromancer DLC just came out. I was very new to it, so I wasn't even sure how to do all these things. But as for any Blizzard game, it's kind of easy to pick up anyway, so it's rather intuitive as you play along. You try to do some objective and try to progress from chapter 1 onwards. And so I think I come quite a long way from a season perspective, because in this particular season I craft as much as I can, which I think a lot of when you're not familiar with the game, you tend to hoard certain material and not too sure whether you should burn them or not. But now that I'm kind of familiar with the game, I know that sometimes just burn all the credit or all the forgotten soul or all the death breath, just to try to get the items that you want to build your character, so as to speak, rather than just waiting for the things to drop and so on. So I've done a lot of those, and I said, after you've completed the journey a couple of times, things become rather fast, because you kind of know what to expect. And and fortunate for this particular hero is pretty strong as well, so it doesn't give me it's not that hard to get through the season journey. When it comes to season journey, there's always a few obstacles, I would say, or challenges. So one is set dungeon, another one is the conquest. So set dungeon is always one of those very odd kind of like game mechanic that I either don't care about it or I absolutely hate it. So after a few seasons, I realized that not all set dungeons are painful. Very rarely you can find a set dungeon that's fun, but not all are painful. So with that knowledge, I realized that I could potentially just find a set of, a particular set to tackle an easier set dungeon. And, for Witch Doctor, this season's archetype is actually rather easy. So that is probably one of the easiest set dungeon ever for all the classes and build out there. So so yeah, I mean that is fine. I mean nowadays whichever hero I play, I always pick the easiest set dungeon. Like if I'm going to play the Barbarian again, it would likely to be, say, the Immortal King, perhaps. If I play the Wizard, I would go back to Tarasha. I think the worms are pretty annoying, but it's still doable. It's better than others as well. Necromancer, I think those are pretty alright. Necromancer, from what I recall, the only thing annoying is Tragor, because basically I'm not good at Tragor, but the rest of it are pretty decent. I think Inarius is probably the easiest one out of all. So I mean, etc. Every class has set dungeons that is rather easy to do. So I always put that aside to the when I get that set, then I do a set dungeon and just spend a couple of attempts and get it sorted. So that is set dungeon. Now on the conquest wise, let's see what conquest I've done this year. So conquest, you can look at into the achievement season and the conquest. So the first one I've done is the legendary gem to 65. I think anything to do with legendary gem 65 or solo or 75, those to me is the easiest conquest, because as you play the season, you get higher and higher rift anyway. So 75 is all right. I mean, then you can now push to. I mean, now for me, I'm pushing to 95. So getting all the gem to 65 is just part of the season journey anyway. So that's fun. That's all right. You don't need to go out of the way to do anything. Then, oh yeah, by the way, if Piper is watching this video, don't worry about it. I'll get it covered. I'll team up with you and the clan to get your guardian if you haven't got it by now. The reason why is that me and my wife was just wondering, like, when should we get our guardian? And then after that, Dupe is online, but Dupe said that he will be on like business trip for a week. So I say, well, why not just help you to do it now? Then we'll help Piper later. So, digression, sorry. So the next one that we've got is the kill 350 or more monster in cursed chest. This is always a very painful conquest. In the fact that you have to spawn a particular kind of bounty called the cursed pit. So there's a couple of approaches to it. You can either go for the less optimal ones, like the one in Act 1. I think there's one that we tried, but we failed. Or you can try to just keep walking into the path of the drowned, I think, downed, to see whether that particular cursed chest event is there. Or you just keep starting a game in Torment 10 and try to see whether the cursed pit is there. It's one of those like weird thing in Blizzard that is like totally just pure grinding. It's nothing else. There's no skill involved. It's just like you start a game, you log in, you click to F4 and see, was it F4? I can't remember. F5, I think, F5, to see whether there's a the bounty called Cursed Pit is there. If it's not there, you leave the game and restart again. So now this time around, myself and my wife have tried 100 times collectively between us. So we've started 100 games and none of them has a cursed pit. And then after that we got Razor in our clan as well, and we still couldn't get it. So we tried at one, couldn't quite get it because we were just not enough AoE that spread across the area. So I got it quite soon. But I mean, if looking at this statistic, is almost more than 100 times tried collective within the four of us in order to spawn a cursed it. We got it, I think it's 370, I think. So it's not that easy actually. This conquest is rather annoying, but you have to have certain classes, certain build that is good for you. Unfortunately, Witch Doctor is not good at, it's good at burst, but you need to set up the monster, you need to kind of group them kind of thing. So it's very, very hard for the Witch Doctor to get the cursed, chest conquest. But we were happy that we have Duke playing a wizard, and there's a whirlwind barbarian as well. So we got it sorted, sorry. The Torment 10 within 2 minutes is always one of those conquests that I hate to do, not because it is hard. Well, I mean, it is not hard. Once you have got to the end of the journey for Guardian, most likely you have pretty decent gears. So kill time is not really an issue. You just have to find the right map, get a group, spread out, and do not loot, and I hate the do not loot part, because this is a loot game, right? And I always, at the back of my mind, I always think that while doing this, have I missed any primal ancient that I could use to improve my gear? I could, right? I mean, it's I think one of the Razor got a primal ancient. I mean, even an ancient, right? So I always leave it. I don't really like this conquest, purely because it just loses so many loot opportunities. As a loot game, this is a lousy design. I don't mind, say for instance, there is a special kind of like a challenge rift kind of environment whereby there is no loot at all. You just play it, and maybe the reward could be XP, or maybe there's no reward. I don't care. But at least there's not a missed opportunity whereby there's an ancient that dropped that suit my build, but I never got to loot it. So yeah, I mean, just one of those lousy design, I think. It's not something that you can play along and try to get it, because Torment 10 is not something I usually do for farming the keys, because I'll do 13, right? Because once you get pretty strong, you can do 13, but 13 you cannot do it within 2 minutes. So you have to get a group, you have to get good gear, you have to find the right map, and then like for me, I'm the one that's on duty to teleport back to the town to wait until the rift is completed, so that I can talk to Oriel, immediately, talk to the NPC immediately to close the rift, so as to get a chance of getting this. And that job sucks. Why? Because all the people are spread out. I don't know who killed the Guardians or the rift, the boss. And I don't know who to teleport back to get the key, because everybody's spread out. So I end up running a rift with no loot and no key. So back to the suggestion of making this a challenge rift instead, I think. I think we could have done the boss mode. Boss mode would have been rather, I know we can do it. Boss mode is one of those that annoying thing, but I never felt a boss mode when I have 4 people running, with the end game gear. So it's something that I could have done instead of any of these things. But I think I'm glad that the season is over. In a sense, I've got all the objective sorted. And in terms of the character wise, I think all the multiplayer and single player and whatnot are all into Greater Rift 95, so the records are all 95. I only started doing this, so I'm expecting this to improve, mainly because I'm testing the Legendary Gem right now. So I think one of my friends suggested I should try a Pain Enhancer for the for my Witch Doctor J Harvester build. I know it shouldn't work, but it actually have some interesting result versus the powerful. It seems as though it gives me a better clear speed on the trash, and then a reasonable attack on the boss. So I'm still testing it. I can't conclude, but I only done it one time, and I set a record of 10 minutes. So I would expect this to come down probably to 8 minutes. When I do a Greater Rift 90, I actually get it down to less than 4 minutes. So I think there's still room for improvement for 95 solo. The only challenge right now is 95 solo. There is an element of threat for death. Now, so far, my character is still deathless in terms of higher rift runs. 80, 90, 95, it's always been deathless. But I'm seeing more of there's always a buff, a passive in any class to resurrect immediately after fatal kind of like attack. So after receiving a fatal attack, so I've begun to see a little bit more of that in my Witch Doctor for 95. So I suspect that either I have to make my character a little bit more durable in some sense, because I still haven't used any of the like Unity gear. So the gear I'm having, maybe I'll just share with you all. I think some of you rather interesting or rather relieved that I'm now playing the season the right way. I'm using a Nemesis because it does give me a better kind of like a clear speed in terms of the shrine, the spawn. So Nemesis is one because I have this as a head item being equipped. Because of the season, I don't need to have the full set items that is on all the slot. But I still very much would like to return to the whole full set before the end of the season, just to see how things go. I mean, there are other options like there are other options that I could do in terms of these slot items. I can do like the a Killer Chorus, like I said before, because most of the time I don't really use mana. There's another one, the Ancient Pathan Defender, is also something that I could, it will help me to clear the trash, because trash is pretty harmful. So here, it will help me because I do a lot of like piranhas, I do a lot of like Horrify as well. So any enemy that's stunned give me additional 12%. So usually I stun around like easily 10 of them. So I don't know how is it going to work out, but it should be make my character a lot more durable. To use this one to push higher rift, like I'm thinking if I solo to 100, I probably need to switch to this one or this one. I think probably like either one of them. So that is one. In terms of my gear, I'm actually pretty happy. I think I want a better shoulder, but I'm actually pretty happy about what I have so far. I need to get the ancient version of the Traveler's Pledge, but I'm happy with the DPS of this guy. Then yeah, I mean, I have a lot of gear that the range are pretty acceptable. And I've got Primal Ancient here that helped me a fair bit because it's one of the really nice combo that I've got. So all these things are pretty much ancient. The only one that's not ancient is the ring and the amulet. So that is something I'm working towards. In terms of the cube wise, I'm still continue to use a wormwood because it's kind of like easier to spread the locust. And the locust, I have 2 runes to it. So one is to reduce one is to reduce 25% damage. Another one from the Vile Hive is to have the pestilence effect, whereby the locust will have 100% chance to spread to other targets. So you can pretty much easier kind of like gameplay. But so all in all, this is what I have, and I think this build will be the build that I'll stick to the end. I may play around with a little bit of this guy here. I may upgrade this 2 a little bit to see. Now, of course, I will continue to augment the ancients I have. So far, I've got like 81 gem here, 82 gem here, and I think there's another one somewhere with the. Is that all that I have? No, I've got 86 gem here. So the next one I'll put in is a 90 gem somewhere. Then I'll try to put as many ancient as possible. Try to push the to as high as possible. I think realistically 95 is something I could get to the farm status, whereby once I get more comfortable with the gameplay of the 95, because every 5 level jump is actually quite a big jump towards the end game. So I'll get used to the whole gameplay. I'll get better in terms of the the DPS, and who knows, I may touch GR 100. I don't know, fingers crossed. But if I do, then it'll be a good milestone. But even anything beyond 95 is I've already beat my target, because I believe my wizard. Now, I soloed my wizard up to 94, and 95 I struggle a lot. So 95 right now, I don't struggle in this character. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, I can push it up to like 100, but I want to push it up to 100, you know, without the Season of Grandeur kind of buff, to see whether I can truly, you know, get there even without this really interesting season. All right, so thanks for tuning in. The next video I'll do is to share with you the my findings on the Pain Enhancer, because, you know, I think, you know, it's a lot of debate when it comes to the Legendary Gem. Oh, by the way, one of the things I learned in this season is that I could, you know, play around with the gems a lot. So every season, like I said, I learned something. The last 2 seasons, I've learned that you don't have to stick with the top build and so on. You can actually deviate from it and find your own build that that suits you, my style, and still be better than, you know, than trying to use the top build while you are not, doesn't really suit your play style. So I've learned that, and I become better because I now have my own stuff going on. Then this season I have an opportunity to play around with gems, because I play around with the powerful and stricken. I think there's a lot of discussion. I don't want to go there anymore. But you know, now I am, you know, instead of powerful, I am trying out the Pain Enhancer. So I'm not going to hijack the next video, but you know, I'll share the result with you as I play more hours of GR95 to get a sense of how these 2 gems perform against each other. So till the next time we see each other, thanks for tuning in. Goodbye, and as always, you can drop a note at the comment box below if you want to see something or ask something different or ask some questions. All right, bye.